2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, NBA fans. Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson, and seated beside me, Kenny the Jet Smith and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, we'll see the Washington Wizards playing against the Atlanta Hawks. Well, for Atlanta, they know this is not your throwaway game, a team they defeated in the second round of last year's playoffs. They'd better be ready. Well, last season, the Hawks won a lot of games with how well they were able to create on offense. So deadly at times with their ability to set each other up. Kenny, would you consider them the best team in terms of assists and passing the ball?
I would say I would say Golden State was way up there, obviously winning an NBA championship, but they were second in the league last year in assists per game, first in the East, and their entire team depends on each other. One guy's out, it really affects everything, and they're best off that catch and shoot than any team possibly other than Golden State.
You know, a lot of time we compare them to the Spurs. That's because they're a team that requires ball movement to create looks for their shooters. But reason they're not really the Spurs because they don't have a lot of players who can create off ISOs.
And that is it for us as we send you to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew.
Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. So glad you could join us on this Saturday night. With Greg Anthony and Clark Hillel, this is Kevin Harlan. We have Doris Burks on the sideline as well. Last game for the Hawks, they picked up the W against the Pelicans in New Orleans. A three-point win in that one. Always nice to come out on top in a close game.
And you know what? Exactly what had to be done in terms of winning on the road. Never allowed any momentum to build up against them. Kept the crowd out of the game. And for every punch they took, they had a counter.
I was very impressed, Greg, with the way they stood their ground, even when they were on their heels some, coming through those. Moments where they were backing up a bit. That's what it takes on the road. You've got to show that kind of fortitude and resilience.
And now Washington starting group. The talented Wall and Beal team up in the backcourt. Nene and Gortat team up in the paint. And it's Dudley in at the small forward position. Just 5 to shoot. Wall's shot is off.
And for the last 3 seasons, what a talented young backcourt John Wall and Bradley Beal have become. Wall drafted first overall, Beal third in different drafts. A little lottery luck, if you will, and great scouting of these two.
Solid work on the back end of that play.
Yeah, finish hard with 2 hands on the stuff.
Yeah, nothing extravagant, guys, but again, no need on that one.
Now here's Wall. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Boston. Dishes to Beal from about 19 feet, and he drops that one in. Well, Clark getting back to Wall and Beal. They really complemented each other perfectly over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah, you look at some of the great backcourts of any age over that time, and Wall and Beal right there with them. And it's good to be so young and talented, that's for sure.
Here's the monster following the basket by Nene. That's good.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie.
Here's Wall. He dishes it to Beal. Launches it. Can't get it to go. And Atlanta will go the other way with it. This their first look at this year's Washington squad.
They take on a team they knocked out of the playoffs last season in the conference semis.
Greg, would you suspect a little bad blood or bad feelings from the opposing side? They better be ready to scrap.
So it's Washington now, following the bucket by the Hawks. Nene, the screen, the jump hook, and no good. Trying to use the glass.
You're not pretty. You just got to shake off a miss like that.
Collins, a screen on Wall. And Young, here we go. Collins. And here in the first, approaching 3 minutes played, count the bucket.
Seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
Now here's Wall. Pass to Dudley. He kicks it to Nene. And again, Washington no good.
And they're 1 of 5 to start this game. Just really haven't gotten into a flow offensively.
And Young, here we go. All sorts of time. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. 6 points for the Monster. Certainly the biggest surprise last year, Clark, was the play of the Atlanta Hawks. Few would have picked them to win the East at the start of the season.
Well, they did it, and they earned it. The Hawks didn't have any superstars on their roster, but they won with solid team play.
Wizards trail by 11. And Wall kicks to Beal. There's a screen by Gortat. Beal can't get it to go.
And for the Hawks, they did end up with 4 All-Stars last season. As you said, it was all about how they worked together as a team.
Here's Bogdanovic. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Uncovered. Gortat with the rebound.
Very tough when you have that good of a look. The defense caught a break there because he missed.
Wall with it, and Young picks him up defensively. Wall, that's good.
And, you know, around the NBA, the league recognized the Hawks were a complete team. Everybody played their roles superbly. The NBA named all 5 of their starters the Player of the Week last year in an unprecedented move.
Here's Young, following the basket by John Wall. And Young, here we go. The Monster passes to Collins. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
You know, something that's floating around in the sports world and in the NBA is reseeding after the playoffs start. And for those of you who may not understand the situation, it's simply saying that no matter what, it would play the lower seeded team, however you get to those numbers.
And he makes the first. And with that whole concept of playoff reseeding, so often we'll see a 2nd or 3rd seed team get a 6th or 7th seed team in the 2nd round. Meanwhile, Greg, the top seed plays the 4th seed no matter what.
You know, I think in a few cases it would have made a major difference in how the playoffs would have played out. And quite frankly, I think it also puts more value on the regular season if that number 1 seed could play a 7th seed, if you will, in the 2nd round. So I think that's something that the commissioner and the competition committee might want to reassess.
Now here's Beal. He's coming off a 22-point game against the Celtics in Boston.
And was a force on the defensive side as well. 4 steals over the course of that game.
Now here is Young. Bradley Beal unable to get his shot to go. A nice shot by Gallinari. Gallinari's got his first 2 points.
Oh, I tell you what, nice little run here they're going on.
And getting to the 10 has been the key. They're getting point-blank looks time and time again.
The Hawks leading by 10. Here's Young, and lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. It's going to be on John Wall. Despite an overall strong year in 2015 for the Wizards, they were pretty weak at times, Clark, on the road.
Managed only 17 wins away from home, tied the Pelicans for the fewest road wins for any team that actually made the playoffs last year.
That free throw, no good.
And for the Wizards and their road problems, a lot of it came from their inability to defend the 3. I mean, they were in the bottom 3rd in the league at defending the 3 as the road team.
Good on the second free throw.
And you know what's odd about the Wizards' road problems is that they played outstanding defense otherwise. I mean, compared to 2014, they definitely took a step backwards in regards to their road play last season.
Now here's Nene. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Celtics in Boston. The pass to Gortat. kicks it to Beal. Just 4 to shoot. That doesn't go either for Beal.
No other way to put it. Just a rough quarter in terms of scoring. He has not been helping at all.
Now the dish to Collins. The shot is good, and so is his shooting tonight. 3 for 4.
And their offense already in a flow. Some stellar shooting to jump out to this lead.
Quality looks they're getting, and they're capitalizing on them, guys. They have to be happy with this start offensively.
The shot by Nene, no good.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
They get it back. Here's Gallinari. No good with the layup.
Just tentative in the paint, lacking a little bit of confidence, allowed the defender to recover and contest that shot.
And it's a defensive 3-second violation. And what do you guys think so far about the offensive approach for Atlanta?
Fellas, they're passing the ball the way you're supposed to here in this first half.
Something else they've been able to do so far tonight is earn those tough points in the paint.
And so he hits the technical free throw. And the thing about Bradley Beal, when he suits up, the entire lineup becomes exponentially more potent. A quick, powerful athlete, Greg, high basketball IQ, had the great teaching at Florida, carries it to the NBA. Opponents have to account for him, I think, on both ends of the floor.
And that's a great point, Kevin. I mean, coming out of college, a lot of people compared him to Ray Allen. I mean, he possesses that next level smoothness and body control that's often indicative of a true difference maker.
Now, here is Gortat. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. And that one's good. Atlanta leading by 9.
And, going back to Bradley Beal, the bottom line is he's a winner. Last year, the Wizards went 8-9 with Beal out of the lineup. Hard to argue with those facts and numbers.
There's the bucket. Good.
The shooting percentage is really solid so far, fellas. Good start to this game for him.
And Wall kicks to Dudley. Back to Wall. Five to shoot. Trying to answer back, but that 3 is off the mark.
And when you talk about Bradley Beal, it's not just having him in the lineup that matters. It's having him at his best. When he's at 100% health, there are very few guards in the league who can keep up with him. Truly one of the game's great young talents.
Knocked away. Passes it to Dudley. Humphries dishes to Wall. Picked by Humphries. And Wall kicks to Humphries. Wall against Young. Pass to the monster. In transition, here come the Wizards. Wall, that's good. Wall's got his second bucket.
Well, they need those kinds of plays right now. I mean, smart defense generating some offense.
And really, Clark, that's the way you get yourself back into the game. Key stops and then try to get out in transition for some easy ones.
Here's Bogdanovic. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Clock at 6. Humphries against Collins. And he gets it to go. And the Hawks lead by 12.
You couldn't have dreamed of a much better start here than they've had today.
I think the offensive game plan they came in with was right on point. It's worked perfectly, and the lead they already have is proof in the pudding.
Now here's Beal. Collins grabs the miss. Collins has got his 3rd rebound on the night.
He's really lacking in confidence out there. 0 field goals made so far in this game.
And it's Gallinari missing.
The bucket just not well protected, but still he doesn't convert too often. That's been the story with him. And he is really in a zone right now, playing and scoring with confidence.
And we've all seen how dominant Bradley Beal can be, the 3rd overall pick in the 2012 draft, who's already had a solid young career, but still plenty of room to grow.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hawks. Talking about Bradley Beal's potential, it's not just the shooting, it's also the passing, and you really don't think of him as a passer, but for such a young two-guard, he's extremely unselfish, averaged over 3 assists a game over the past 2 years.
And the true stars of our game feature versatility. And here's a guy that has also tremendous upside as a rebounder. I mean, how about getting 7 boards almost a game the 1 year he was in college? So he understands the importance of impacting other areas. I mean, last season he had his highest steals average of his career, and everything's upside with this young man. The sky's the limit.
Excellent point.
They're not going to run that play very often, but hey, they'll take it. Way to notch that 3.
Wall against Young. Down low. Here's Zeller, and down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
Tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard.
Temple can't get it to go.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
Now here's Zeller. And it's Korver in the corner. Second chance shot, and there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. It's going to be on John Wall.
And Kyle Korver enjoying a career renaissance, if you will, here in his 30s. A former late second-round pick. He's kicked around the league a little bit. He's really found his niche here in the motion offense of the Atlanta Hawks.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
The free throws dropped for Korver. A little background on Kyle Korver, drafted 51st by the Nets back in 2003. They sold his rights to the Sixers for a little over $100 grand and used the proceeds to pay for their summer league fee.
Well, that, and they also bought a new color copier for whatever that information is worth. It might sound like a mistake in hindsight, but I heard that machine is very reliable.
Kyle Korver, a true laser. I mean, the most efficient catch-and-shoot jump shooter in the league, and maybe in league history. He tallied the second ever 50-50-90 season a year ago.
Well, that's clearly a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look at.
No doubt about it. You cannot let up defensively just because he missed out.
Now, here is Young. In the game against New Orleans, very impressive. And he gets it to go. Young's got his second bucket tonight. And Korver now in his 13th season in the NBA. Last season was his best ever, especially shooting.
Yeah, and he credits all of his improvement to the advanced off-season training regimen. Extremely dedicated. He moved his family to Santa Barbara to be closer to his trainer, and it's paid off.
Yeah, way to get there first and be willing to absorb the contact.
No question about it. No flop there. That was a direct shot to the chest.
And Young kicks to Zeller. He feeds it to Williams. Picked by Zeller. And Young, here we go. Rebound, Washington. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
And when things started to go wrong for him in that game, boy, did they ever go wrong. They just could never get back on track in that game.
Greg, the problem to me was no consistency. Anytime they strung together a couple of baskets, they couldn't build on it.
His fifth miss, now 2 for 7 from the floor.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Here's Temple. Feeds it to Gooden. They need this one. No good.
You know what? Those are shots you just hate to miss when you get those kinds of bunnies on a possession.
And after just 1 quarter of play, a double-digit differential on the scoreboard. Hawks lead by 13. Bradley Beal, he came from a football family in St. Louis, but said his mother introduced him to the game of basketball at a young age.
She definitely put the ball in my hand. She's the one who taught me my form, I followed through, and still to this day, she yells at me if I miss a shot. So she's kind of a perfectionist, and she definitely taught me how to shoot. She can shoot it, and she still to this day thinks she can shoot better than me.
Maybe some other NBA players should be practicing with Bradley Beal's mom, because she has definitely honed something special into him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but I'm not sure some of the more delicate NBA egos could handle her trash talking them when she beats them in a game of horse. Bradley's not only got a special J, but he's got a pretty good disposition too.
And welcome back. It's been all one-sided so far through the first quarter as our second quarter gets underway. And guys, we've seen the Hawks really take control here.
A lot of tough D being played by them so far. It's been the difference maker.
Greg, no uncontested shots for the most part. That's why they've had success.
So this is how the floor looks for the Wizards starting the second. Caldwell Pope out there with Nene. Then there's Blair. Then it's Garrett Temple. And it's Beal in at the 2 spot. Wizards trail by 15. The feed now to Temple. Dishes it to Beal. Lets it fly. Hits the front of the rim and out.
Physically, there's no doubt they've been the stronger team. That plus 10 rebound advantage tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, not to mention what it says on the scoreboard. They're really pushing them around. Straight bully ball.
Now, here is Gallinari. Bradley Beal unable to get his shot to go. Fade away. No good. And it's Washington the other way. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be in town for the next one. They start a 3-game homestand with that game. And now approaching 2 minutes of action here in the second quarter. Here's Temple. He's guarded by Williams. The basket counts and one. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it a 3-point play.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
For Washington, they have shot just one free throw earlier, 1 for 1 in the game.
And team stats last season, 74% shooting, so some numbers that they can definitely improve upon.
And I know the free throw shooting is an area they focused on improving coming into this season. You know, not many saw it coming last season with the Hawks. I mean, they just ran away with the Eastern Conference. It was the first time they took the East since 1994.
And we're about 2 minutes into the second quarter here. Here's Temple. Temple. Nene, the screen, and Temple kicks to Beal. Fires from 18. Atlanta with the rebound.
It's almost like he's trying to make things hard on himself. You know, he's just got to slow the game down, try to get some easy ones.
Williams against Beal. Out to Gallinari. Good, and it's Williams who picks up the assist. Gallinari's got 4 points this quarter.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they've built this lead for themselves here.
Last season at both sides of the coin for the Wizards. Started out very hot, but then just could not keep it going.
Well, you know, the start was extremely hot. 19-6, which tied a franchise best, that record. After that, though, they played close to 500 ball the rest of the time.
Thabo Sefolosha has checked in for the Hawks. And then for Washington, Spencer Dinwiddie's checked in for Beal, and it's John Wall in for Garrett Temple. Now here's Wall. He's got 9. Charity stripe shot, drained for 2 points. Wall's got 11 points.
And the Wizards really struggled post All-Star break, playing under 500. Still, though, they seem to pull things together at the very end and on into the postseason.
Here's Bogdanovic. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. Collins kicks to Bogdanovic. Off the left rim and out. Wizards trail by 14. Pass to Dinwiddie. Three-pointer. Atlanta with the rebound. The Monsters got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight.
Well, there's no denying it. The Wizards had some bumps, and you mentioned that. Some weeks they look like a lottery team. Then the next, they look like a title contender. They knew how to make the most of their games when they did get hot, though.
Closing in on 4 minutes played here in the second quarter. Left side, Wall. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
Guys, he shot a very good percentage today, and they've needed it.
Well, I think all three of us agree John Wall, a tremendous all-around player.
Outstanding. Speed was what jumped out at me most when I saw him first at Kentucky. Now he's been able to harness that speed as a pro, and he makes plays that very few can make as a point guard.
He gives you a lot of different looks, doesn't he?
He sure does.
And that one falls for Wall.
And guys, John Wall, obviously one of the most electrifying players to enter the league in some time. Unreal body control, tremendous length and athleticism for a point guard. And that's one of the reasons he gets so many steals, blocks, and rebounds. All the extra things from his position that really add up.
Here's Bogdanovic. Collins. Off target with his three.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
Dinwiddie kicks to Dudley. Nene, the screen. Here's Wall. Atlanta with the rebound. Collins has got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
And, you know, guys, for Wall, the one thing he's still ironing out is his shooting stroke. It looks better every year, but doesn't necessarily go in more often, especially from three. But even if he never becomes a great shooter, I think he'll remain one of the game's best all-around talents.
Nene setting the pick for Wall. He dishes it to Dudley. He kicks it to Gortat. Here's Dinwiddie, covered by Cephalosha. Shot from 12. The putback, and it's Gortat finishing it off.
Tell you what, coaches love to see that kind of hustle, guys. I mean, getting after it on the offensive board, that's always a winning play.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The hustle's great, guys, but I think we all prefer to see the finish when you can go up and throw it down like that.
Here's Bogdanovic. After marching Gortat's bucket, Bogdanovic passes to the Monster. A tad short, but it's good off the front iron. The Monsters got 8 points.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
And, Greg, you know nothing makes a coach happier than selflessness on the basketball court.
Now here's Wall. He's got 14. And here's Dudley for 3. That's good. And so Wall with the assist. Dudley's got his 3rd bucket of the night. Hawks were so dominant last year and were the first team to clinch their spot in the postseason.
Hawks also would wrap up the top seed in the East and were able to advance against the Nets in 6 games.
Young's checked in for Gallinari. And a switcher also for Washington. Caldwell Pope's checked in. The Hawks leading by 10. Here's Bogdanovic. The Monster controls the rebound and puts it back up and in. The Monsters got 10 points.
And that's a really deft touch right there, guys.
And he just guided that ball back up and in. Clark, just a fingertip touch on the ball.
Really well done.
And you know what? No need to catch it in a situation like that. He's got terrifically soft hands, and that finish doesn't allow the defense to react.
Here's Young, rejected by Wall. Here's Caldwell Pope. He's guarded by Collins. Caldwell Pope kicks to Nene. Now here's Gortat. Tight defense on him. 6 on the shot clock, and that one's good.
I thought they did a better job of getting it inside in the first. I mean, they were conscious of throwing that ball in the paint and attacking the rim.
And the thing, Greg, about Marcin Gortat, he's not a high flyer. He's not a super flexible athlete, but he's one of the best centers in the league because he's tough. And he's worked hard on developing his skills. And he always hustles.
Yeah, and he fights for position down low. A terrific screener, does a lot of that dirty work. And he's also very good at passing the basketball. You know, a lot more skilled, particularly in the pick and roll, than maybe people give him credit for. He can hurt a defense in a surprising number of ways.
Drew Gooden has checked in for Gortat. Wizards trail by 9. All with it. 14 points for him. A beautiful reverse layup. Wall's got 16.
Talking about Gortat, he was a late second-round draft choice in 2005. His first 4 years in the league, highly underwhelming. Now, over the last 4 years, he's averaged around 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game. Those are good numbers.
Cephalosha's shot is good. Wizards have gone 7 of 14 in the second quarter, shooting to the tune of 50%. Young against Wall. Picked by Humphries. Caldwell Pope dishes to Gooden. Just 5 on the clock. Collins grabs the miss. Collins has got 6 rebounds here tonight.
And getting back to Marcin Gortat, his dad was a successful light heavyweight boxer in Poland, so clearly you see where the toughness comes from. And Marcin's mom was on the Polish national team in volleyball, so you know where the blocking and ball skills come from. I guess we'd have to call him a chip off the old blocks.
Atlanta leading by 7. And Young kicks to Cephalosha. The pass to Collins. Now here is Cephalosha. He's guarded by Dudley. Here's Zeller. And it's Humphries with the rebound. The Wizards have gone 8 of 16 from the field in the second quarter. A nice, efficient 50%.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
Kicks to Cephalosha. To the middle. Shot by Collins, no good.
Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions yet.
The dish to Dudley. 3-pointer. And good, coming off the assist by Wall. Wall's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. A tight game here in Atlanta. Young against Wall. Young's shot is off.
Nothing seems to be going down for him today.
Here's Caldwell Pope, covered by Cephalosha. Caldwell Pope kicks to Gooden. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Now just a 2-point Atlanta lead.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Now, here is Young. He's got 5. Here's Collins. Solid as a rock from 20 feet away. Collins has got 14.
He's got some serious momentum going right now. He's been great all day. Even last game, he was on fire.
Picked by Humphries. There's a screen. Caldwell Pope passes to Humphries. Passes it to Caldwell Pope. Rebound, Atlanta. At one point, they led by 16. Right wing. Now here is Cephalosha, covered by Humphries. Collins dishes to Cephalosha. That 3 off the mark. Wizards trail by 4.
Well, I tell you, last season was a big one for the Hawks and Coach Budenholzer. Their dominant season won him multiple Coach of the Month titles, and eventually he won the Coach of the Year award.
And for Chris Humphries, last year was a chance to sign with a playoff contender. The Wizards turned out to be even more than that, with the 4th best record in the East, and Humphries helped them to get there, averaging about 6.5 boards per game.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hawks. Capella's checked in, and it's Korver in for Thabo Cephalosha. We're getting back to Humphries. He was rolling pretty good last season, but a late-season groin injury, Clark, cost him the final 16 games.
Yeah, terribly disappointing for Chris because he had become an important part of that front court rotation. He was up to almost 20 minutes a game before he went down.
That's tipped. And now Beal pushing it up, and no one back to stop him. Lays it in off the breakaway. And a chance to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Washington.
Great hustle defensively through the first half, contesting everything and racking up the block shots.
Another big aspect of their game tonight has been the fast break, transition opportunity. They're really keeping it up-tempo so far.
Oh, how pretty was that? Use the rim to protect the ball perfectly.
Pass to Caldwell Pope. Picked by Humphries. Here's Temple, defended by Young. Temple gets the bucket.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
6-second difference between shot and game clock. Williams' shot is off.
And fancy finishes like that look great, but man, it's embarrassing when you blow them.
Here's Temple. 5 points in the game. He feeds it to Humphries. Blair, the screen. Beal gets a wide open look. Beal can't get that one to fall. Young. No good. And we're through the first half of basketball here in what's been a good one. It's the Wizards. They're up by 1. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
All right, Kevin, thank you. I'm here with John Wall. And John, when you're hitting your jumpers early and force that defense to guard you, how much easier does that make it to attack the basket or find your teammates with a pass?
Oh, man, you see it, man. The lane is open. I'm finding my teammates, and they just get those guys open. That's one thing I said I want to work on since I've been here. I don't want to just be a myself player. I want to be a team player. And they're doing a great job of setting screens, getting me open, and I got to just keep finding and making shots.
John, thank you. Kevin, he seamlessly navigates those seams.
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
I would call that a competitive first half of action. Ernie Johnson here welcoming you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. You gotta love the John Wall we saw in the first. He had 16 points, 5 assists, and 1 block. And let's get your thoughts, Kenny, on the Wizards.
Well, the reserves really came through when they needed a spark. This is a close game. Any points you can get from your bench are huge. I thought the bench guys came in and inserted themselves like they wanted a starting spot. And that's what you want. Subs who are ready to produce the moment they step on the floor.
And Shaq, what'd you see from Atlanta?
I like the way they rebounded. They devoted a lot of energy down low, fighting for each other on the boards, and they helped keep this game tight. If they can continue to do that, it could easily be the factor that swings the game in their favor.
So that does it for us. Hope you enjoyed our halftime show. Now we take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half call.